What's going on, Mother Truckers? Welcome to the Asia My Show. You know, a lot of people have seen some of this beautiful iron before, but a lot of times you might not know the people behind the scenes that actually make it happen. So today, we're with someone special. You know, please introduce yourself, brother.
Vinny Diorio, and I own Rollin Transport, Rollin Logistics.
Take a look. Yeah. I mean, pretend like it's DOT, brother.
So, I mean, this is a 2020 that 389 that we tried to make look like a 359, 379. A 389 sits really high on the frame, so we body dropped it 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
To get it low and sitting back down on the frame like it used to, and then tried to incorporate some of the older things into it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a new truck.
Yeah, that's great, brother.
I mean, I learned a long time ago that paint is key, and
oh, are you giving away the secrets right now?
Well, I mean, when I showed my first truck, the paint job I thought was okay. It was a semi, and we went to a Louisville truck show, and I remember Neil Holzenbach and Victor Verrett. I mean, they picked on me so bad for my paint that I'm like, oh man, like I'm never going to do this again. And I made sure when I did my next one that the paint was right, because they were picking on about
let's walk around, let's look
how you could feel that line, and right now you can't feel that line on that paint. I mean, and to get a black truck to shine like that and not see all the imperfections in it, so we made sure that when they painted this one that it was 100% right.
No, it looks good, man. Let's look in here, man. I feel like when you walk in here, was it a nightclub in here? What's going on, man?
Yeah,
come on.
A little bit of pimp stuff, I guess. But you know, we took a dash out of like a 1998 Peterbilt and put it in a 2020 because I like the old square style dash with the toggle switches. Don't like rocker switches. And we did this in one of my other trucks, the orange and purple one that I have. But I mean, I like the old hot rod look where you come up and you open a door on like a 71 Chevelle and it's got red interior, white interior. So we were gonna match the sleeper, which just had bone stock gray double eagle interior. We're gonna match the cab. But when we started getting halfway through this, I'm like, man, it'd look really cool on a black truck with just a little bit of red on the outside. And then you open the door and it's all like
boom, in your face.
Yeah.
I like it.
I've seen some people that say it looks terrible, but I don't know.
Hey, it's your own twist, brother.
It's mine, and the kid that drives it loves it, so I like it.
So, you know, we don't have to walk all your trucks, you know, because you got too damn many of them, you know, but
they're still coming in. Guys are still loading it and should get here a little bit later, but gotta work. Like every one of these guys that's here is loaded because we're just too busy. And I said, yeah, man, you can go to the truck show. We all can go to the truck show, but we got to go load the trailer first.
I hear you.
So all these guys, when they're done on Sunday, they all got to roll out and deliver somewhere Monday and Tuesday.
You know, talk about this before I let you go, brother, is having pride in having something that looks at this caliber. Why is it so important for you to have it?
It's just an image. The big thing is the rates that we charge for the stuff that we haul for our customers. It's an image for them to their customers. So we go load our freight at our customer and take it to their customer, and it makes my customer look that much better to their customer. When my truck rolls in and deliver their stuff, he's on time, he gets out of his truck, he's not in flip-flops, he's not in sweatpants, he showers every day, he doesn't look like a slob, and he gets there and he knows exactly how to, you know, chain or unchain his load, his machine, and the customer's blown away. And we've had it so many times where my customer gets a call from their customer and goes, man, them guys are good. Like, next time we get something from you, we want it on them guys. And my customer likes that because now it just makes their freight look that much better to their customer when it shows up on a truck like ours. And it's huge. I mean, you're representing your customer. And if I can represent my customers by trucks like this and drivers like this, they love it. I love it.
That's what's up, brother. A lot of people, they just like talking about the trucks, but I mean, how the hell you get into trucking, man?
Well, I grew up on a dairy farm, and right next to my uncle, my grandpa's dairy farm was a gravel pit. And so all day long when I'd be working on the farm, I'd watch dump trucks drive back and forth all day long while we're sitting there working on the farm, and I always loved trucks. And when we would start chopping corn and hay and stuff like that and running wagons back and forth to the field, me and a neighbor kid buddy of mine, we put CBs in the tractors so we could talk to each other, and then we started talking to like all the dump truck drivers that were going back and forth, and they actually like started to get to know us then because we'd always BS with them back and forth. And I just always loved trucks. And when I was a kid, like driving down the road, I'd be able to tell my mom like whatever truck was what, and you know what kind of truck it was. Probably at like the age of 6, I could name off whatever truck it was that was coming at us. And my mom was just kind of blown away that I knew like what truck was what. So I just always loved trucks. I always had a love for trucks. When I was probably a junior in high school, I started working for this trucking company just because of farm work. Like I guess I was a senior in high school, and so I started working for this guy, Ruben Minneman, and I'd wash trucks in his shop. And you know, when he told me that I could start pulling them in and out, like it was the highlight of my life.
I mean, can you tell me that experience? Like, what was that smile like?
Like he was missing his voice box. You know, he had cancer in his vocal cords or whatever. So they ended up taking like his voice box out. So he had like a real raspy voice. He'd be like, "Hey kid, can you pull that truck out?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I can do that." And I got in the truck and, you know, pulled it out of the shop and got in the next one and pulled it in. And I mean, it was the coolest thing ever, dude, just to be able to pull a quad axle dump truck in and out of the shop, you know. So then I turned 18, was the last day of high school, and he drove me down, and I had like my temps and everything done. I just had to go get my license, did my road test, my CDL, and that afternoon I was driving a dump truck, and he went and bought me a brand new dump truck. And I worked for him for a couple of years, and I started driving for another buddy of mine. And at about 2 months before I turned 21, I bought my first truck and started
Tell
pulling.
me that experience, Vinny. Like buying finally from on the farm, CB radios.
It was crazy. Like my first truck was 1997 Peterbilt. This was in probably 2002 or 3. And I mean, it was the craziest thing ever to be having my own truck. I mean, I didn't even know what to do. Like, I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to do nothing. You know, and I mean, it was bad at first. I mean, I remember like writing checks for fuel, hoping that by the time they cleared, I had enough money in my account to be able to cash the check. You know, and sometimes it didn't go that way. Like, you know, it was a struggle. I mean, I was bouncing checks just to keep going. I mean, it was a tough deal, and I mean, I just never gave up, and I just kept working. And I had my grandpa and my uncle kind of instilled that work ethic in me growing up on the farm, and it made me a hard worker. And I just kept plugging along and figuring sooner or later, man, this is going to pay off. And I never gave up. I just kept going and going and going. And then I started hauling cows there when I was 21. And I did that for about 2.5 years for a buddy of mine. And I was just sick of being gone. All my friends were partying, and so here they are calling me at 2 a.m. at bar close, and they're all partying, having a great time, and I'm driving across freaking I-80 in Wyoming, going, man, what am I doing? Like it was like I'm wasting my life here, which I just wanted to get some more time in, get some more money going, and I think I was probably almost 24, and I said screw it, and I bought a flatbed and started running back and forth from Chicago to Milwaukee. And I was just pulling an open flat, working for a friend of mine, Gary Gaiman, out of Slinger. And then I got sick of the tarpon deal and went and bought a Conestoga and kind of started going out, knocking on doors and trying to find like work on my own and really pushing like the Conestoga, the curtain side freight, and trying to show people, this was in probably 2005. And I just bought my first brand new truck. And I went and bought a brand new flatbed with a curtain side on it. I just started knocking on doors and trying to show people why running a Conestoga is so much better than having tarps beat on, the freight that you're hauling. And I started to get a lot of customers from that. So I started to load a buddy of mine from that I grew up with my whole life, and he was working for another company there. And I started loading him with my extra freight that I had. Next thing you know, the guy that he was working for went out and bought more and more trucks, and I was loading like 20 extra trucks on the side.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
That must have been a crazy time.
And it was happening so fast that I couldn't even realize what was going on. And I thought, well, my buddy Kevin wanted to come work for me just full time in one of my trucks. So I went out and bought another truck. And my banker said to me, I remember it, he's like, he's like, this is going to make you a fleet now. I'm like, a fleet? I'm like, I'm going to own 2 trucks. He goes, 1 truck you're an owner-operator, 2 trucks you're a fleet. I'm like, okay, no big deal. It's my boy. So I buy a second truck, and Kevin comes to work for me, and I started putting on owner-operators, and, I was still driving yet, and it was me, Kevin, and I probably had like 5 or 6 owner-operators at the time, and so we were just running, it was me and that guy there, and like 5 or 6 owner-operators. It was fun. I was driving and stuff, yet, and we just started to get big quick, and I started to add more and more trucks. Next thing you know, I was like 10 owner-operators, and I was 15, and I just couldn't drive and still run all the trucks. It was just too much.
How big did you get, brother, at that time?
So I was probably us 2, and then I had 15 owner-operators, so it was 17 trucks, and I was loading all 17 of us and still driving. Jeez. And it was a nightmare because I wanted to do most of my driving at night.
Right.
Well, then that don't work because the little bit that I wanted to sleep in the morning, my phone was ringing off the hook. So here you're trying to catch, 6-7 hours of sleep, maybe from when the sun comes up till like 10 or 11 in the morning. Well, all my guys were getting empty and they're calling in for their reload info. And I'm going down the road with a laptop stand because they didn't have iPads back then. And I got a laptop, mounted off my passenger seat. And I'm driving down the road, like booking loads and answering emails and all that. Back then, there was so many customers that you actually used to talk to on the phone. There wasn't so much emails. And I remember I had 7,000 phone minutes one month. I went over like my plan. And I think I had like 7,300 minutes in a month on my cell phone. And I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Well, then they came out with unlimited plans, so then it was no big deal. But,
yeah.
So then I just started going in the office and just started to grow from there. And then I bought a couple more like company trucks. And so now I own 8 of them myself. 4 of them kind of trucks that I drove. They sit in the shop, or show truck that I built, and a 359 that I redid and we ran for a while and it sits in the shop, and one we use for hauling our race trailer for a boat racing team. And
I heard about that from another friend.
Yeah.
So look at that smile, brother. Look at that, man.
It's a lot of fun. It gets my head off of trucking, and it's my place to relax. So yeah, we race all over the country, and it's wild.
That's cool as shit, brother. When you really think about this, like just being a young farm kid, just so excited just to talk to truckers, because I'm sorry to say, but a lot of people, they see the end product, and I know you're far from done, but they look at the end product and they write people off so quick.
Yeah.
They go, man, look at this person. Must be a trust fund, baby. Must be this. Oh my God, like, shut up, like.
Man, I'll tell you, like my parents got divorced when I was in 3rd grade. And my dad passed away when I was in 5th grade, which I didn't have much to do with him after my parents got divorced. But like my mom raised me from, all by herself from 3rd grade on. And my mom worked her ass off. And I don't know how she made it work, because it was a lot of times where, I think she was real close to even having to try to go on welfare because she didn't know how she was going to make it work. Damn. And my mom worked her ass off. And it's funny now because my mom actually retired from her job of 30 years and actually works for me in the office. And it's funny because she tells us people this line all the time. Everybody's like, oh, how do you like it? And she goes, oh, it's great. She goes, I only have to work with 1 asshole a day instead of 30 of them. I'm like, hey, thanks.
You're like, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. But I have a good relationship with my mom, and we get along really good. And
for the most part, you retired her. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and she keeps on telling me that she's going to retire and I need to find someone to replace her. But honestly, I don't know what she would do because she loves it. She loves interacting with all my guys.
Yeah.
She loves it, she loves what she does. And so she always threatens it with me that she's going to retire. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
So tell me this, Vinny, honest truth, without your mom, you think you'd ever be where you're at, bro?
No, right now, like she's really held it together here the past. She's been with me now for, I'd say, almost 3 years, and in this past 3 years, it's never been as good as it's been. Like, she's really made my business really succeed on the bookwork side of things.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I can do my part, and I know that all the financial part is handled, because if you can't trust your mom, like, who can you trust?
I tell you, brother.
You know, and it's hard for me to be able to have somebody in my office that I can trust with, you know, what's coming in and out of the books, and my mom just does a phenomenal job.
Man,
so,
that's cool, brother. No, you know, honestly, anyone that talks great about their mom, I'm cool with, bro.
It's real good.
You know what I'm saying?
There's some times where I got to call my sister, and I say, Mom said this or Mom said that, and my mom will call my sister and vent to my sister, and my sister will be like, you guys just need to talk this out, you know? But for the most part, I mean, we get along great, you know? We give jabs back and forth, and then we just leave it there, you know? And we walk out of the office and see each other at family stuff, and it's like she doesn't work for me. So we leave it all at work, and when you can figure out to leave all that at work, then everything's good, you know?
That's perfect, bro. So, you know, for the guys that, you know, want to build something for themselves, any advice for them, because you've been through it all. You've been through the
I'll
beginning
tell you
to
what's
end.
really made me succeed is the crew of guys that work for me. Like, my company drivers and my owner operators, I mean, I'll put them against any company. My guys are the most professional, on the ball guys that have my back every single day, day in, day out. And there's plenty of guys that have been gone out running their ass off, and they'll come home and want 3 days off, and all of a sudden this load will get dropped in my lap, and I'll be like, hey, can you do this one? He's like, well, you know, I kind of wanted to be home for 3 days. He's like, but I'll do that.
Right.
But I don't ever forget that, you know? And so when a really awesome, easy load comes across my lap, and I remember the guy that bailed me out when I was in a bind, and I try to feed that guy more, you know? And my guys get that. They understand that if they help me, I'll always make sure to take care of them down the road. And I got a really awesome group of guys. Like,
that's great,
and that's what makes me succeed the way that we're succeeding is the guys that are behind me.
No, I appreciate that. You know, we're only as good as our team, right?
Right. And I mean, we don't have a big turnover rate. I mean, all my guys, I mean, I have guys that started working for me when they're 50, and they wish they would have started working for me when they were 30. I said, well, that couldn't happen because I wasn't even around then, you know?
Yeah.
Which we're coming up on being 20 years in business right now. So, but it's cool. I mean, I got an older group of guys, and I got a younger group of guys, and they all get along, you know?
No, that's great, man. Let's let the elephant out of the room. These dope ass trucks. What the hell, bro?
I don't know.
What the hell, bro? Is it addiction? I mean, what's going on here?
I don't know. I just got some just crazy ideas that I sit and think about. I mean, from the time I first did my first one, I had a notepad sitting on my nightstand, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd write something down just because I had.
Is that your shirt back that you're wearing? Is this the first one?
Yeah, I think it was my orange and gray one.
Yeah. What was the first truck? What was the name?
It said "Picture Me Rolling" on the back, but now all my guys, they call it the OG just because it was back 2005, 2006 when we did that truck, and it kind of started a lot of these trends that you see right now. And so all my guys call it the OG truck now. But yeah, that's kind of what started it, you know. And I always tried to outdo my first, you know, the one I did previous with the next one and the next one and the next one, and just try to keep outdoing yourself. And, you know, you see some other guys do some, you're like, oh, man, that's a really cool idea. And you try to change it a little bit to make it yours. You don't want to flat out copy a guy.
Right. So
you change it a little bit, so you put your twist on it, and it goes, I guess. But,
I love it. No, meeting you for the first time, brother. You know, hey, I'll drink a beer with you anytime, bro. You know
I won't twist your arm.
Shit, bro. That's cool, man. No, I appreciate you.